It's that time. It's 2 o'clock, and welcome. It's Wednesday, May 20th, and we'll continue the Modern Eater Show, broadcasting live from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. Jay Parker on the ones and twos, and myself, Greg Hollenbach. What's up, Jay? Chicka. Reopen guidelines are coming out. We're going to cover them thoroughly. It looks like we'll be stepping inside, and it's a long time awaited.
I know there's a lot of things in that reopening guideline that is raising some eyebrows, right? I mean, how are we going to do that? How are they going to do that?
I'm going to put a poll up, and thanks for joining us on the stream today. A very, very busy show. You don't want to miss 1 minute of it, 2 to 4 p.m. That's it. Just sit there and stare at your device. Watch the show. Glad you're here with us today. Again, the reopening guidelines came out last night. And as our audience shows up, I'm sharing the stream. Hope sharing is caring, Jay, and liking and loving. That's what we would love for you to do. So I'm sharing the stream right now. On the show today, of course, next hour, Dr. Sara Metz will join us from Code 4 Counseling. Rich O'Brien from Elevation Foodservice Reps, Gaby Reyes, Feed Me Events. And Gaby is doing great work putting together food trucks. Kind of the afterthought right now are food trucks and organizing so that there's a viable place for them to go, and she did just that in Westminster. We'll check in with Gaby Reyes at 3:15. 2:45, Dionne Roberts. She's our Rocky Mountain Food Report gal. She's going to join us, and she'll be at Stellina Pizza Cafe and talking to us from Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yeah, they're going to make a pie.
I love pie.
Oh, nice.
And it's Roman style, and so I don't even know what that means.
Roman-style pie.
Roman style.
We'll figure that out at 2:45. 2:30, here's a new one that's opening up. Breweries everywhere struggling, and a couple of them, the attrition, closing them down. But Spice Trade Brewing Company, they started a new venture, and it's down south just a little bit in the tech center. Spice Trade Brewery and Kitchen. And we'll check in with Jeff Tyler and Chef Jason Bray to talk about that new project. They're going to open up at 4 p.m. today for takeout and for curbside and delivery, which should be fantastic. And then they'll be opening for business. Great wide open space. 2 p.m., that's what time it is now. And without further ado, again, we're going to fit it in there. We'll go open these reopen guidelines. And I'm going to put a poll up for you guys. Are you going to go out to eat right away? Simple poll. Yes or no or maybe. I will be going out to eat right away to support local restaurants. And, Jay Parker, how about you?
I mean, if you make me go with you, yes.
Oh,
I mean, you know me. I'm
right,
some weird
that's
introvert type of dude.
Thanks for joining us right now, 2 p.m., Jason Newart. Jason is a friend of ours. He's also a butcher. He's doing great things. He's in Colorado Springs right now. Jason Newart, welcome to the show. It's good to see your face.
Yep. Good to hear from you guys. Glad everybody's healthy and happy.
It's been a while, that's for sure.
It's
First of all, where are you? Are you in your backyard?
I'm in my backyard. I'm in my garden. I just pulled some. What did I just pull? Mint. I got to go slaughter a sheep this weekend, and I'm gonna make a little recipe, some jelly for these people to cook with their lamb. But no, I'm out here in my garden, jacking around. Checking on my corn stalks, all my carrots and squash and pumpkins. And I don't know, I probably got 50 varieties of different stuff out here right now. I got to check on every day. Keeps me busy.
Are you on your phone? Can we see your garden? And then I think you're going to demo some stuff for us too. Yeah, grab that phone. Beautiful day in Colorado Springs there. Jason Newart joins us. He's the butcher. If you haven't caught Jason's work, we're showing you a side-by-side. You remember the last time you were in Studio Kitchen, Colorado. This was the summer dinner series, and boy, did you guys do a great job. Here it is you now. What were you breaking down that day? Do you remember?
I remember we were doing a pig, if I'm correct. Here's my corn. I'm going to try and get my corn. See my corn? Right there?
Yeah.
Boy, that's really just flourishing.
You're going to harvest that and feed a Smurf?
Hey, don't pick on me. Hey, look at that. Look at those onions. Look how tall they are already.
That's looking good. That's looking good for sure.
And then we'll walk through the garden. And then we got all the mint over here going like crazy. And then I've got some raised beds with peppers and stuff that's just popping. I actually started putting stuff in the ground back in March, second week of March. And people think I'm nuts. But I've been I've been doing this for a long time. So I just keep my stuff warm when it's cold out and uncover it during the day. I didn't have anything else to do.
How do you how do you pick what you choose to put in your garden? I know a lot has to do with sun exposure, what works well in Colorado. I'm a balcony gardener myself, but I only get from sunrise until about noon, and then no more sun after that. So I'm not doing tomatoes. I'm obviously not doing corn, stuff that you need a lot of sunlight. But how do you pick what you want to put in your garden? I'm a lot of herbs and a lot of jalapenos.
I'm a what can feed me, my family. My wife and I live in a situation where we're living in a carriage house of one of my best friends, Blair, and her husband, Eric. Mm-hmm. So we have a shared yard. So I look at it also as what they like green beans and stuff like that. So I slam a lot of green beans in, snap peas for them, spaghetti squash, some gourds and stuff that they enjoy. And then I also think about my community. We've got a lot of little kids that live in our neighborhood. So that's the purpose of the pumpkins. Last year was horrible. I didn't really do good on pumpkins, and I don't know why. And this year they're already growing like crazy. Like they're already, popped out of the ground and got their leaves going. The year before, I think I had 32 pumpkins in one little area. And then I just told people, you can bring your kids down or come grab a pumpkin. I delivered some pumpkins for some people. So that's why I do that. I've got a few that I'm going to make pumpkin pie with. As far as placement, we got, our sun is kind of where we're positioned. We got decent shade in the morning and then about 6 hours of sun and then shade again where it is. So everything kind of does really well in here, including tomatoes. Already got tomato plants. They're going like crazy. I just think about what I want to eat through the winter, what I can pickle. Last year radishes were the bomb. I must have had 100 different radishes in here. You could pickle those. But yeah, that's just kind of how I do it. I just kind of throw stuff in the ground. I don't have rows per se. I'm a mess. My brain's messy, so my garden's messy, but it makes sense to me. I think it drives my wife crazy because my brain's so messy to look at my garden. She's like, how the hell do you know where any of that shit is? And I'm like, I don't know. I just know.
Just so you guys know, the poll is active right now. The question is, are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? Anybody want to take a guess on where this poll is right now? Jay, do you want to take a guess on it?
I answered. Mine depends. But
okay. How about you, Jason? Are you a yes or a no or a depends?
I am a not right away, only due to the reason because I have my mom and my dad are very, very high risk, and my stepdad is very high risk. Mm-hmm. So I will probably continue to support the guys through like curbside dining and all that kind of stuff, pickup. But until I feel a little bit more comfortable that I'm not gonna like end up exposing my family members to it, I'll probably just stick with no for now and a future of yes.
Interesting. Okay, here's where we're at right now. We've got a 16 yeses, 4 hard no's, and 5 depends. Okay, so the poll
16, 5, and 4, is that what you said?
16, 4, and 5. So anybody that did depends, would you mind doing us a favor and head on over to the Modern Eater Facebook page on this live stream so we can see your comment? Head on over to that Facebook page and tell us what your depends. What are the variables for your depends? As we're catching up right now with Jason Nauert, the butcher. You're in all kinds of things. First of all, private butcher classes. Talk about you and what you do, Jason.
So generally, my main focus is I train military on how to go from whole animal to eating that animal with other ingredients, so they have a good way to eat clean while they're on deployments and not rely on MREs or local national food that generally wouldn't have any kind of inspection, which means you could get sick. You could get multiple different kinds of bacteria from it, E. coli and all that. But I also do, since this COVID had hit, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about personal one-on-one or two-on-one type butchery classes. I think it's kind of sparked an interest in people to learn, like if I go learn to hunt, or if I can buy a whole lamb or a pig or a goat. I think they want to learn how to break that down for themselves, for their households. Another thing I'm working on is with a guy named Jason Marsteiner. He is out of Cripple Creek. Well, he lives in Springs, but he's got a bushcraft survival school, which is really cool. He does like 3-day, 5-day, 50-day, does all kinds of crazy. It's cool stuff. I think you guys will eventually talk to him, but we're even getting inquiries from those type of people on how to butcher something down more on the survival end of it. Like, what are the most important cuts that I could save, or how can I save them in a field type environment and be able to live over a 12-day period until somebody can come find me? Or if I have to live longer, how do I take care of this meat? Do I start a fire and learn how to smoke it all and pack it with me? Is there a way to bury it in the ground? Just stuff like that. So that's really starting to gain some traction too. I want to work on doing some YouTube stuff. I think we've all talked about this. I think now I'm at a point where I'll be able to maybe come up and do some YouTube videos, how-to stuff. Just real basic, I don't like to get crazy with stuff because too much information kind of confuses people. I've learned over the years.
What do you figure the basics that people need to know with butchery is?
So, like, the first basic would be to know how to break a chicken down so you can get more than just one meal out of it. Learn how to break it down into a 6-piece or an 8-piece. We were talking about spatchcock earlier. That takes 2 seconds, but it's a really cool. It's a good way to butcher a chicken, and it's the best way to cook it, in my opinion.
Are you going to butcher something for us now?
I don't have anything, man. I've got some mint I'm trying to prepare.
Show us what
I want to
do.
Oh, I just pulled some. I just used my big ass knife. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
I just use that. I use it like a machete, and I got some mint because I'm gonna make a little jelly, a little taster. So when I'm butchering this lamb for these guys, I'll fry some up real quick and let them taste it.
Just so you guys know, here's where the poll's at. Yes is at 24. No is at 10. And depends is at 15. So basically it's half and half, yes and no, with the depends in there. I'm curious to see what those depends are. We're looking forward to your comment on the stream. Go to the Modern Eater Facebook page and click on the stream there. We can see your comments from there, but very interested to see what the depends is all about. So 25 yes, 10 no, and 15 depends. It's neck and neck on whether folks will get back into it. Are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? And a very interesting poll as we catch up.
What do you guys think about?
So I'm a depends, and I know it's me, and I'll make it short, Greg. But my depends is it kind of depends on what I see when I go there, right? Because I'll go to the supermarket right now, but I stay away from people and all that. So it depends on the place that I see that's open and what it looks like inside in the way of sanitation, as far as disinfecting everything and all that. I know most restaurants, they're sanitized anyway, but it does make you feel a little bit better when you see somebody right now that obviously their only job is to walk around with a sanitizer bottle and wipes and sanitize everything as things are going. I would like to see that if I was eating somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be dependent. Like, if I know the chefs, I know their practices, so I'll go in there, but I only have my core places I go to anyway and order from.
I'm finding this poll really interesting. And again, we're going to go over these guidelines. They're reopen guidelines they came down the pipe last night and from the governor's office. There's actually, where's my notes? 4 or 5. Yep. County variances that have allowed restaurants to reopen their dining rooms already. A number of Colorado counties have applied for variance, and several have been approved. The following counties' variances allowed restaurants to reopen dining rooms in some capacity now in the next few days. Here's the county: Cheyenne County, ready to go. Custer County, ready to go. Eagle County, May 25th. they've got the green light. Rio Blanco County, they've got the green light. And Sedgwick County, they've got the green light. So you're seeing it starting to loosen it up a little bit. And very interesting as we go forward. Are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? Yes, 31. No, 18. And depends, 18. It's all over the place right now, but it looks like half and half. Thanks for joining us on the stream today. Jason Nauert, the butcher. Coming up at 2:30, Jeff Tyler and Spice Trade Brewery and Kitchen. It's a new place down south, and I can't wait to go join them down there. Very airy, wide open looking place just from the photographs. They'll be on in just a few minutes, and then 2:45 we'll stay down in Colorado Springs and zoom to Dionne Roberts from Rocky Mountain Food Report. Do you know Dionne, Jason?
Yep. I met her a couple times. Super cool.
You guys can come. These guys from Spice Trade just came on. You guys can sit down and throw a headset on when you want to.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yep, go.
You know the big to-do with the large USDA plants, the federally inspected ones?
Yes, sir.
Brunson made a comment, and I commented on his comment. The fact that my personal feeling is, why are we relying on the feds? Why don't we create a system? And, somebody told me I should try and get in front of Polis about this. Why don't we create a system where our processing plants are actually inspected by the county and the state and stop relying on the federal yahoos?
That's an interesting proposition. I haven't thought that one through all of the way. I mean, you would think at the end of the day, the FDA would, be the final thought on that. I don't know how they could reallocate that power, but what would you want the final say to be about?
So, my friend in Georgia, he was telling me, the state oversees all their slaughter stuff as long as it doesn't cross county lines or state lines. I think they only have one product, and I can't remember what he said, that's actually has to be USDA inspected, but everything else, as long as it doesn't leave the state line, it's inspected. Their slaughter facilities are state inspected. So why wouldn't we try and implement something here where, one, you're creating more jobs for local, state and county, you already have inspectors for the restaurants and all that. Why can't you create a whole nother division which creates more work, more jobs? And that, I think that eases up on smaller farmers relying on USDA plants,
yes,
like the large ones.
Did I say
the
FDA,
ability
USDA? What's my problem?
Yeah, to the ability to get their shit inspected, when you might also end up being able to create a system where those farmers can get state grants to have their own slaughter facility on site. So they can process theirs and 5 other, ranchers in their area. They can all come together and have their own slaughterhouse, processing, and distribution.
There's a little bit of that. I know in Durango, you've got Sunnyside.
Very tiny amount.
And more of those, and maybe a co-op sense of how that would work. And to keep that delicious, great, ethically raised meat out of those large packaging plants. That's what I would love. I mean, you look at the outbreaks that are happening in those plants, and everything you'd want in the world is to keep anything that you're going to put in your body. I'd
be super curious. What's the outbreak number in the large plant versus the outbreak number in the mom and pop places? You know what I mean?
I'd be curious too, and I think we know the answer. Here's the
I'm sure we do.
Here's the poll results right now. Yes is 47, 48 just now. Are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? 50 say yes, 23 say no, 21 say it depends. And again, waiting for folks to tell us what does that depends look like. Thanks for joining the stream for us today. All right, Jason, here's what I want you to do. Would you take us through, spend a couple of minutes from soup to nuts. When you work with the military and you go out on a retreat, what is it that you're teaching these folks when you're out on the retreat, and what would one of those look like when they go away for 2-3 days with you?
So my course consists of either a 5-day or a 10-day course. And the 5-day course is we acquire a whole animal, and I teach them the humane and ethical way of dispatch. And then I walk them through the whole process, like the skinning, the evisceration, what to look for, and look at it while it's alive. Does it look healthy? What does a healthy animal look like versus a sick animal?
Tell us, what is it? What are the
so
differences?
Generally, you think about this is the best way I know how to describe it. Think about when you have the flu. You go lay down on your couch. You kind of don't want to be around anybody. People annoy you. You just want to be on your own, right? So you look at like a chicken, or no, we'll go something bigger. We'll go like with a lamb. Generally, they could have a weird discharge in their nose, their ears. A big telltale sign on an animal is if their ears are down versus up and alert. They're like looking around and seem happy. They're bebopping around. Whereas a sicker animal, its ears are going to be kind of down. Its head's going to be kind of down. It won't be necessarily, chit-chatting with the herd. It'll be kind of off on its own in the corner, or, down in the field by itself. And that's kind of a sign, does that animal look healthy? And I kind of generalize things. I would figure, I've never been on a deployment, so I don't know, that if you go overseas somewhere, a farmer is going to try and get rid of his sick animal because he doesn't want to deal with it. But you don't want that sick animal. So you have to know what a healthy animal from the get-go looks like. And then let's say you're like, man, that thing looks really good. So you take it back and you do the dispatch, and you get in the heart, the liver, the lungs, the kidneys, the intestines, all those areas. And you start seeing little things like little growth. Some growths are just, tumors that happen. They're not going to get you sick. I came across a sheep that had diverticulitis. I didn't even know sheep could get diverticulitis. But it was just a series of bubbles all over its intestine, these little bubble looking things. And I was like, shit, I don't know what that is. Let me double check. So, I sent a text to one of the Army vets who I'm really good friends with, and he shot me back. He's like, yeah, it's just diverticulitis. Don't worry about it. I was like, cool. So a lot of times they have a medic with them, and those medics are cross-trained. They can identify like parts and pieces that are diseased or something like that. But 90% of the time, 99% of the time, that animal is going to be edible. And then from there, we get into what's your goal? How many people are on your team? How many people are you feeding? So if your goal is you've got 20 guys to feed, you have one lamb, but you have to span that out over, we'll say 8 days worth of food, what's going to be your best way to butcher this animal down? So then I teach them that. Like, you can do roast, for a couple days, you can do a roast. We can do stew meat. We can do a little bit of grind. You guys could, your final 8th day meal could be, lamb chops or something like that. And then I worked with Carly a little bit, and we talked about doing bone broth. So now a big part of it is utilizing the bones to make broth for them to drink, because there's so much vitamins and nutrients in it. And then the organ meat is filled with a lot of the guys don't want to eat the organ meat, but we make stews because we want to use the whole thing. They'll learn how to clean intestines and make sausage casings, or you can chop it up and make chitlin, stuff like that. And then as that progresses, once we're done butchering for the 5-day course, we're done. It's like, hey, you learned how to butcher the animal. You learned how to identify it, this, that, and the other. If they're doing the 8 to 10-day course, then we roll into field cooking. So we take all that meat and we do a meal plan, and we do some shopping for basic ingredients. We don't get extravagant. We just do basic ingredients, mirepoix, stuff like that. And then we do cast iron cooking. They smoke meat. We built a smoker up at Grey Wolf Resort, and we utilize the skins of the animals to kind of sock that heat and that smoke over the rack. So they'll learn how to make jerky, or they'll smoke some sausage. I think one group tried their hand at bacon. And then I partnered up with a with a solar company. They make like a solar bag that you basically take your tin pot, which they supply, you put it on a rack, and you zip this thing up and you stick it in the sun. We made chicken noodle soup in an hour and a half, and it fed 4 people in a solar cooker. And that solar cooker got up to, I believe, 265 degrees in the sun. And then we tried it again in the winter, and we got it up to 210 for about 2 hours. And then I figured I have to basically make an igloo for this thing for it to work, because the cold wind just kind of sucks it out of the energy out of it. So that's kind of the quick overview.
I need to go to one of those. Would you ever let me go, or would we have to get a special soft class for me and Jay?
We'll get you a special soft class.
Not ready for the military grade one. I understand that.
No, because they get. I think they get pissed at me because I'm like, all right, that 900-pound cow's down. We got to drag it up here, and they're like, where? I'm like, up over there. And to me, I'm like, oh, it's only 150 yards. And I'm like, well, I'm not the one dragging it, so what do I care?
Jason, it's always fun. I can't wait to see you in person, and we'll get back to it.
Me neither.
Butchering and cooking, and let's do that YouTube. I think we could.
Next week, if you guys want, I'm going to be butchering up that lamb.
Done.
So we can tune back in, and we can butcher up a lamb.
Yeah, well, that might be appropriate. I like the butcher with doing mint right now, but probably want to see you with an animal there. Jason, thanks for letting us catch up with you. That's Jason now.
No, thanks, guys.
He's the butcher.
I miss you guys.
Yeah, miss you too. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you, brothers.
Yeah, here it is, the poll that we've got open on the stream today. Are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? Here it is. Yes right now is at 64 votes. No is at 33, and depends is at 27. So it's pretty much half and half on whether folks are going to go. I like those opening numbers. Those opening numbers tell us that it's going to take a little coercing for about a third of folks to go, or a quarter of folks to go, and that's fine. But the hard no's, that's an interesting thing on why you wouldn't do it. I think the answers are all over the place, but we'd certainly love to hear you chime in on the stream. Just go to the Modern Eater Facebook page, click on the stream. In the meantime, we've got these guys with us. A busy day for them. They're running around everywhere. First of all, we'll introduce them. You know him from so many things, but he participates with us early and often. Jeff Tyler, Spice Trade. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, man. You throw your mic on there. Good.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
And then,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, this gentleman right here. This is the first time I've met you, but it's good to meet you. And this is Chef Jason Bray.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good to see you as well.
Good to be here.
I know. So, here it is, guys. It's this weird sci-fi movie that we're all living in right now.
Yeah.
Crazy. First of all, this has been in the works for a long time.
Yep.
Spice Trade Brewery and Kitchen. Talk about it.
Yeah, so it's been in the works, I guess starting in 2017. So I came on to Yak and Yeti Brew Pub in 2016. We rebranded the brewery to Spice Trade in 2017, and that's where we started kind of looking for the right home for this project. And, here we are in 2020. We've been building the place out for over a year. We're ready to open. Pandemic hits.
Kaboom.
What do you do? So we're trying to make the best of it right now. Today is officially our first day open, serving both beer and food. Our kitchen's open for business today.
For takeout?
We were for takeout. No dine-in yet. Hopefully soon. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to be hanging out, selling as much beer and food as we can.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen some pictures. Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like, as weird as it sounds, COVID friendly, because you've got a wide open space, lots of patio, the doors there, man, airy, the whole 9 yards. If you were to open up in odd circumstances, it's nice to open up like that, right, guys?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not the worst. We got that 20-foot garage door.
Yeah, wow.
The whole space is designed to feel like an outdoor market in Southeast Asia anyway, so you get that airflow. You kind of feel like you're outside. We have a huge patio. It's like 2,000 square feet. And we're actually we're working with Greenwood Village to let us expand into our parking lot, so we're going to have even more room to let people hang out outside.
Okay. Chef Jason Bray, tell us about yourself at J Street. Is it Hunji?
Hunjay.
So,
I own J Street Food Truck. We've been around for about 4 years, and then I opened another food truck concept, Hunjay, which is Asian-inspired smokehouse that we opened up last year in March. And that's pretty much my story. Jeff kind of found me last year, and we joined the partnership, and I'm doing the food side and kind of running the kitchen and doing, worldly street food to kind of match the worldly culinary-driven beer that Spice Trade does.
I'm going to pause this poll right here because no mistake, Yak and Yeti is where the original brewery's at. Right?
Yep.
I'm going to put this poll up here. Have you ever eaten at the Yak and Yeti?
Yeah.
I want to see what people say.
A
lot of people have eaten.
A lot of people know Yak and Yeti, yeah. And a lot of people have been asking us if the food's going to be the same as Yak and Yeti. And, while we'll definitely have some like Indian and Nepalese items on the menu eventually, we're really kind of branching out to globally inspired street food from everywhere. Food that's small, food that's approachable, food that works really well with our beer. And that's where I'm really excited to work with Jason because, J Street and Hunjay, both, they specialize in globally driven street food, from scratch cooking, really, really good stuff. And so we're super excited.
How'd you get so lucky? How'd you come across this gentleman?
I just was batting my eyelashes. And,
that was
I don't know.
So that worked out for you, right?
Yeah, it's worked out. And I think the big thing, with the two of us is we really see eye to eye on a lot of things, on ingredient-driven things, using the highest quality ingredients you can, and just kind of getting that excitement from, the world's a big place, and there's a lot of cool food out there, and we feel like we can do a lot of cool work, especially with pairing. Jason's a home brewer, too. He's brewed a bunch of beer, so I think he's more excited about brewing on our system sometimes than I am.
Absolutely, doing experimental, test pilot batches and stuff like that.
Any brewing going on? No, right?
Yeah, we've already brewed some beer there.
You have?
Yeah, we brewed, last week we brewed 2 batches of beer. We started off with our German Pilsner, which is just super easy drinking, good summertime beer, but also it's got a lager for a while. So we're like,
hold up your beer. I think people will recognize it when you see it.
Let's take a peek at it. So this is our single origin beer. We got our Thai triple with us too. Oh, up here. Hey, take a peek. So this beer is really cool. So we have our spicy Thai wings with us, and we're pairing this single origin cured sumac beer.
That actually is going with the tacos.
Oh, yeah, the tacos. That's right. The Thai triple's going with the wings.
Okay, we have 10 votes in on whether you've eaten there or not. Guess what the division is?
7 and 3, 70-30.
7 have gone?
7 have gone.
Interesting. How about you?
Ooh, 7 have gone. I'm going to say 50-50.
Real close. 4 have gone, 6 have not.
Okay. All right.
So far. So we're asking you, have you gone to the Yak and Yeti? Us 4 and 7 now. So more often than not. Here's the deal. If you haven't gone to Yak and Yeti, first try this. go try this out. Are we the food could be similar or just very? Yeah, go ahead, Chef.
So the idea behind it is going to be kind of the menu will be kind of constructed like a beer menu. So you're going to have the domestic section, which is more of your more approachable classic combinations that you would get at a brewery, right? But a little bit of spin. Like we'll have our classic cheeseburger that we're doing right now, but it's a short rib chuck burger.
Stop it.
Just not nothing too crazy fancy with a bunch of ingredients. It's a simple burger: garlic aioli, house bread and butter pickles, lettuce, tomato, onion. Nice bun, good quality ingredients. And we'll continue that domestic section with your classic stuff, but then we'll have like our import section, so to speak, that is more your worldly fare. Like what we brought today is one of our tacos with our smoked brisket, tossed in Korean barbecue sauce, little raw onion, little pickled red cabbage, and then our sesame pickled cucumbers. And then we got our wings, our Thai wings, which are, marinated in coconut milk and soy, a little fish sauce, smoked, then flash fried, and then tossed in our signature curry spice rub that I created. This nice dry spice rub, very complex. It has smoky, sweet, spicy, all kinds of elements, and that comes with a little papaya salad with it. That paired with our Thai triple beer is just unbeatable.
I really feel, and this is no slight on any other brewery or any other food truck, but I really feel that this mindfulness of pairing the beers with the food, with what you guys are doing, is just such a cool creation that I don't think that anybody's really led with this before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Beer and food pairing's been around for a while, but we really wanted to kind of take it to that next level. We've been doing these really culinary-driven beers for a while, so it's really cool when you can say, oh, I have this beer with lemongrass and kaffir lime leaves, and it's in the beer, and you can also get it on your wings.
Sick.
And making it approachable too. Like that's always the hard part, right? Is like if you see a lot of crazy ingredients, sometimes people are like, "Well, what is that? I don't know if I want to try it." So we want to make it approachable. We want to make wings. People love wings, but we want to layer it with those super complex flavors and help tie it into beer. And we're setting up our beer menu sort of like domestics, where it's like just straight up Pilsner. That's a domestic, right? And then you have your imports, and that's our Thai triple. That's our King Montezuma, more exotic stuff. We want people to feel like they're not overwhelmed and maybe a little intimidated. We want people to be able to like kind of graduate up to the more adventurous stuff.
What's the future when we look and we go, okay, let's get back to normal. We'll get back to normal someday. What are you going to do? Some fun events in there? Are you going to do?
Absolutely, do different kinds of beer and food tastings. And one cool way to do kind of a beer and food tasting is to think about, just pairing in general, but 3 concepts I like to do. One would be match. So a perfect example, there's a jalapeno Pilsner that they have, right? Mm-hmm. Not your typical.
Love that beer.
Your typical beer, right?
Yeah.
But we could match. The first would be match. So do something with jalapeno in it to match the ingredient, right? The next would be to contrast. Do something without.
For sure.
So imagine some freshly fried tortilla chips tossed in a lime seasoning with sea salt, a little bit of sugar. And then the other one would be make something that the beer fills the void. Yeah. So I would make a salsa with no jalapeno, so the beer would fill the void.
That void.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, that's definitely some stuff we want to do. We'd love to do like special, like, pick a country. Let's say we pick Italy, and we're like, we have this cool Italian beer. Let's do like a Italian tap takeover where we have an Italian-themed street menu. We have a couple cool Italian beers we're going to release, and we have a little event where you can come in. Place is kind of decked out like a little Italian villa.
Sweet.
You can come have some food, have some beer.
I'm literally tearing up a little bit. I mean, it's probably menopause or whatever, but this is a really cool project that you guys are getting down on. And let's face it, you'll get to tell the story of the opening years from now.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Try to think about it in that light. It's funny, when we first started over a year ago, we were in the longest government shutdown ever and had all these problems trying to get our TTB, our liquor license from the government. So like that and a bunch of other things have just kind of stacked up to make it a turbulent road. And this is kind of the latest bump, but we're just kind of doing what we can.
What city do you fall in?
Greenwood Village.
Greenwood Village?
Yeah.
Are they pretty cool right now? Like, are you going to expand into the parking lot?
Yes. Yeah, they've been super helpful. So the whole parking lot thing is like really new. We've been working really closely with them. Our landlord's been great to let us expand in the parking lot. We're actually taking over 24 parking spaces, in addition to our patio. Part of that is some grass space that you can come and throw a blanket down and have a little picnic on the side of our building. So we have a lot of space. If you're uncomfortable being inside and you want to be outside, we have a ton of space.
Poll's getting really lopsided now.
Is it?
7 have gone, 24 have not. Let's do a new poll. Let's talk about this place. Listening, like, how should we word this? Listening to what these guys. I want to make an easy poll of just basically, will you go support these guys?
Yeah.
And does this sound good or intriguing to you?
Right, like maybe who's interested in global street food and
with
culinary driven beer
and exactly. But the other cool thing about Spice Trade Brewing and Kitchen is it's not going to just be for people that like beer, because there's 20 taps, but we're going to do about 15 beer, and the other 5 will be some craft cocktail, a homemade seltzer, a mocktail for the non-alcoholics, a kombucha. We're also going to have we have our full liquor license, so we can do select wines, a small selection of cocktails and mixers to make some fun mixed drinks. So there's something for everybody. It's not just for your beer lovers.
Yeah, it's not just a brewery.
And it's not just for, if you don't drink, we're going to have some tasty mocktails, tasty food. It's really something for everybody.
All right, I'm going to publish this poll right here. See what we've got. Again, joining us here, Jeff Tyler, Spice Trade Brewery and Kitchen, and Chef Jason Bray. These guys looks like they're going to put together a home run, and they're dialed in and ready and waiting for you. You guys have about 5 minutes left with us. You want to go over what these guidelines were that came out last night? We could just talk.
Yeah, I'll be honest. We're still digesting it. This stuff's coming out rapid fire. It's like changing every day.
So just comment as I put it in. And so here it is, and I promise to go over this with you guys. It's 2:40 in the Mile High City. Thanks for joining the stream today. This is the restaurant guidelines for reopening. And we'll just go right to indoor dining and outdoor, but dining in, basically. Restaurants may continue to do curbside pickup delivery, including alcohol pickup and delivery. That's a win, right? I mean,
that's great.
To keep that one on board, fantastic. Minimum of 8 feet of spacing between parties, table to table. That could really pinch some small locations.
We've been talking about that, and we're trying to get, if it's table to table, then it's kind of, if that doesn't include the chair, then it's kind of like still 6 feet from like back to back. So that's kind of what we were envisioning. We had most people had anticipated the 6-foot rule. So if that's how it ends up playing out, that's I mean, obviously it's not great, but it's reasonable.
I've seen, like, in Central Park, have you seen that they're putting big circles on the lawn?
Oh, really?
To where that's your space. Stay out of my space. Would you consider putting something around your tables to kind of show people, don't step on my lawn?
We could, yeah. I mean, we're going to have to rearrange the whole dining room, so I think the tables will hopefully be kind of self-explanatory. We might have to put, I've seen a lot of
you boys want to hear this poll result so far?
Sounds like we should.
Who's interested in global street food and beer? We've got 8 votes in. Do you want to
It's got to be 8
yes.
8
yes.
8 yes. 0 no.
0 no.
What do we got?
That's it?
That's it? That's what it is?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I'm just trying to tee us up for a win.
That's good. That's a good start. All right. All employees must wear facial coverings and gloves.
Yeah.
I mean,
got to get it done, right?
Yeah. I mean, chefs usually wear gloves anyway. Most of the time, you have to wear them when you're handling ready-to-eat food. So most line cooks are used to wearing gloves anyway.
8 and 1. Who's that one? I want to drag this person out of a out of a bush. What are you talking about? No. Jeez. That's terrible. We don't like you. All right. Sanitation and deep cleaning of all shared surfaces between seatings.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
I mean, how long is that going to take to do, really? 30 seconds?
I mean, not too long. We've even been talking about, like, having a spraying system for sanitizer. So we have all hard surface on our patio table. A party gets up to leave. It gets sprayed down. A minute later, it's ready for someone else to move in.
Yeah, just don't get that spray near me.
Don't
overspray.
Spray
makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. But sanitizing up and down, I wish that would have happened pre-COVID. I just like seeing that, right?
Yeah.
The kid before me with his fries still in the seat.
Yeah, right.
So we can tighten that up a little bit. All right, limit party size to 6 people or less. That's interesting.
Yeah, the party size thing, I don't know how they figured that out. It seems like however many people you're going to bring in, they're all kind of like in the same
Well, you can shelter in place at home with 10, can't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It should be 10. Hope that changes. This is a draft.
Yeah. I mean, the bigger the party size is, kind of the more people we can fit in. If we had a bunch of 2 tops with 8 feet between it, we'd be able to fit 4 people in there.
Right.
Making efforts. Where am I? Make efforts to reduce congregating inside and outside the establishment, including encouraging reservations and preferably only utilizing a reservation system if feasible.
We've been talking about that, and on the surface it seems like a great idea, right? Reservations, so people have a limited amount of time. You don't have to show up and get turned away. The problem is that's a huge extra cost for businesses to take on that are already extremely cash strapped. You have to pay into an online reservation system. They're not just free, and it's like really hard to do a free version of it. So that's like a big cost burden unless they're going to subsidize that for us to have an online reservation system.
No self-service stations or buffets. You don't have that. And you've got a window, right? So you're limiting touch at your spot, right? The food's not being brought out to the table. Am I correct?
Right now it's like a pickup window. So you get it dropped, you pick it up, you go to your table, less employees touching your stuff. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
No seat yourself options. Will you have a problem with that?
Say that again.
No seating yourself.
No.
Yeah, so that means we'd have to do a reservation system. That kind of comes back to that issue.
Okay, here's a sticky wicket. No bar seating if the bar is being used for food or beverage service. If it's not being used for service, then parties could sit there under the same requirements as a regular table. What does that look like? So if I don't know you and you don't know me, is there supposed to be a bar stool, or can we sit next to? Can we fill a bar? That's what I'm asking. If
it sounds like you need to have that distance in between. So.
Yeah, so like 4 bar seats and then 8 feet and then another 4, and everyone in those 4 seats would have to be, in the same party. The tricky thing is then we need people running around doing all the serving instead of having a ordering window, kind of like our kitchen that you can walk up to and get a beer. It'd still be great to have a little ordering section for people.
When was the last time you guys been in a bar, just like a full-on bar? It's been a while. I worry. I worry about it. I mean, listen to this. Imagine having to work around this. Minimize objects touched by multiple patrons, including remove or close games and dance floors that require or encourage standing around. That's darts, pool tables, shuffleboard tables, arcade games, removed board games, discontinue the use of tablecloth. I mean, basically, you're going into a bar, it's going to be bunk. It's going to be boring as hell.
Yeah, if it's a bar that's set up with a bunch of games, it's going to be tough.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
terrible.
I don't know, we didn't really have plans to have a bunch of games up front, so for us, it's not a huge deal.
Apparently, we have 7 people that eat at McDonald's on a regular watching the stream. 11 say yes, they're interested. 7 say no. So it's weighted you guys' way. And you know what? I'm going to throw mine in there, so it's 12. Jay, I'm putting yours in whether you want it or not. That's 13.
I already did.
Oh, there you are. You're up now.
Were you the first no, or were you one of the yeses?
Hey, man, those 7 are just people with attitudes that hurt us saying, who would say no? And somebody goes on there and goes,
yeah, you're probably right. Food. Guys, I'm super, super excited for you. When you are able to have in-house dining, the Modern Eater Show, we're hitting the road. We're taking it out of this kitchen. We got to get people comfortable again and show all the great practices and delicious food and beers are flowing. And just, hey, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll make it through this.
We'll get there eventually.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to stop by today. You were out doing deliveries for folks to get in the hands of some influencers, people who can spread the word.
We were trying to get, folks in the media to
And good job, by the way.
I've
seen a good bit of media push on this as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. And, if you see that and you want to come down, you can check out our website, spicetradebrewing.com. You can place your order there. We're in Greenwood Village, 8775 East Orchard Road. Come down. You can still see our space from the patio. You can place your order and get a little taste of what it's going to be like once we're available to open.
Wow. Gosh, so proud of you guys. Looks like you got a haircut, Jeff.
Yeah, I did get a little haircut.
Yeah, cool. And you're keeping it clean as always?
Yeah. Well, I just chopped my hair off myself last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good.
I wanted to go clean.
You got it done.
Yeah.
Perfect, man. All right, lock and load them. You guys will do it. And today, starting at 4 p.m., that's go time.
Yep,
going
live.
Congrats and good luck. We'll see you down there.
Thanks a bunch. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. Oh, wow, that's cool. I'm going to reopen this poll. And here's this poll. Are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? We will resume it with the results being 77 yes, 35 saying no, and 30 saying depends. We want to hear from you on what that depends is as we bid Jeff Tyler a good day. Thank you, sir, for coming by. Right now, it is 2:48 in the Mile High City. I have to give you a couple of words from one of our sponsors, and we're going to hear from the Spice Guy right now on the stream.
Partner with the best.
What happened there? Jay, you got me?
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com.
Okay, thank you for joining us on the stream. We're going to continue from the stream. A question, Josh says, I missed the beginning. What's the association with Spice Trade and the Yak and Yeti? Great question, Josh, and a lot of people actually do not know that. Spice Trade Brewing Company originates from the Yak and Yeti up north, and they have a brewery inside of there. You'd miss it if you blinked, but it is in the basement of the Yak and Yeti, and they put out delicious beer. So hopefully that answers your question, Josh. This young lady joins the stream right now. It is 2:49 in the Mile High City, and we will zoom to Colorado Springs, and I think we're at Stellina Pizza Cafe. But we have from the Rocky Mountain Food Report, Ms. Dionne Roberts, and it's good to see you again, Dionne. How are you?
I'm great, Greg. How are you?
I'm well, too. You have a friend with you, I believe. Is this Sara Mishler?
It totally is.
Blue Star Group. First, let's go with Dionne, and then we'll go to you, Sarah. What is Rocky Mountain Food Report?
What is Rocky Mountain Food Report? So we are a website, a news forum that shares pertinent information about everything rad that's going on in Colorado's food and beverage scene. So we have a good social media presence as well as articles online. We've been sharing a lot of recipes lately, just featuring some other fellow bloggers, and we are just kind of promoting what's going on in our area, especially since we've been home a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, we're just trying to give the public good information about specials, deals, updates on COVID restrictions and, the reopenings of the farmers markets, local purveyors that they can buy, anything you can think of, food related.
Yeah, I'm a fan, that's for sure. Keep up the great work with that. We'll turn to Sara. Blue Star Group, what do you do there?
Hi, I'm the Chief Brand and Strategy Officer for Blue Star Group. We have a couple different restaurants in town. In the Ivy Weld School, we have principal's office, bar, and coffee libation spot. And then also inside their Ivy Weld kitchen. Food, burgers, fries, all that good stuff to go with your bar, with the bar food. And then we have Lau's Taco Shop, Hawaiian Tacos. And then we just opened, where we're at today, Stellina Pizza Cafe.
Wow, yes, please, and thank you.
Right? Just a few things, right?
Holy cow. So you were going to show us around. First of all, what's the state of the state as far as Colorado Springs, Colorado? How are you guys doing down there?
We're doing okay. I mean, we're definitely doing just carry out and take out these days. And we at Blue Star Group will probably do that even longer than what the state or the county may open up. We just want to make sure our staff stays safe. A couple of our spots have a really great big patio, so when we're able to do patio seating, that'll be great to add.
Yeah, totally.
So you're not following CNC's reopening plan?
We are not.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's do things the right way. You bizarre ladies, you. What do you want to show? What do you guys want to show us today?
So we're going to go over and actually get in on a pie being made. So, we can roll over that way. Just a little bit of background on the space, too. So this was inspired by a trip that Joe and Will took to Italy in 2019, and they just fell in love with Roman-style pizza. And so that's why this place is extra special, because we have New York-style pizza, and we have Napolitano-style pizza, and now we have Roman-style pizza. So I love the new options that we're getting in the Springs.
All right, we have to ask, and I feel ashamed that we don't know. Jay, do you know Roman-style pizza, what that is?
No, I think I asked her on the phone yesterday, and she told me, and I still don't know because I forget. So,
okay, tell us what Roman-style pizza is.
I think the big distinction is the shape. It's usually long and rectangular. It often in Rome is sold by the weight. So you say, I want, half a pound of pizza. The other thing is just the dough. It's usually made with olive oil in the dough, along with all the flour. We use a sourdough starter here. Our starter and our dough takes 3 days to proof. And so that time that the dough kind of gets all the lovely juices going, makes it really crispy, but still soft and tender to chew and bite into.
All right, I'm publishing a poll right now. Have you had Roman-style pizza? Yes, no, or I don't know.
Awesome. Well, and I hadn't in about 15 years since I was in Rome, and I had it last week, and we got down on it. It was awesome. I mean, Sara described it as, the crust being airy, still crispy, really simple ingredients, which I think is Italian food. It doesn't have to be complicated to be awesome. So, and I think they really hit the nail on the head. So,
when in Rome.
Exactly. So, we're going to walk over and get the pizza started if y'all are ready.
Let's get it.
All right, let's do it. All right.
Oh, and
so you can kind of see the space a little bit, too.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking you guys were on until 3. You got until 3:15, so we can slow our roll just a little bit here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, we can talk more.
Sweet.
I was going to say, you want some more information?
You can give us information while we look at pizza.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, walk over and chat with the chef.
All right, let's come over this way. What's up, Chef Will?
Hey, how's it going?
What's happening, Chef?
Are we in the shot?
No, you're good. You got the chef.
All right, let's come over here.
Okay.
So we got it.
Every chef likes to talk about their oven first.
Everyone likes to talk about their oven, you said?
I said every chef likes to talk about their pizza oven. What do you got there?
Okay, so this is a Marsan & Sons. It's a big boy. It's lined with bricks on the top, the back, and the bottom to help us maintain heat. And it has a double burner underneath. Typically, they only run in a line going back. This has vertical. Typically, you're looking at like 90,000 BTU for both of these. We have 90,000 BTU for each one so that we can maintain our heat. We're not running a high heat. We're sitting at 500 degrees. But when we put that pizza in there, we don't want the oven to drop. And that's the other thing about Roman-style pizza versus Neapolitan. More so than the shape is the temperature that we're cooking it at. We have a higher hydration dough, so we're cooking it at around 500 to 600 degrees versus 900 for a Neapolitan. We're looking at 12 to 15 minutes instead of 1 to 3 minutes.
Wow, okay. 12 to 15. And the poll right now, just so you guys know, 3 people have said yes, they've had Roman style, and 2 people have said no. And 0 said, I don't know. So there's no in between there. All right, Chef.
Well, they didn't get down.
They should come try it. I think we got to be careful calling it Roman.
All right.
Roman is a big inspiration with it, especially with it being rectangular. But we're not selling it by the pound. We're not selling it by the slice. But we are doing it at a lower temp, and we are using a rectangular pizza. But it does have influence from some American sources. You've heard of LeGrand Orange in Berkeley. So we do have a sourdough starter, and we're going 3 days. So we are going to have a better flavor to our dough as well.
So yeah, when we had ours, it's about this size. Obviously, it expands a little bit, but yeah, it feeds about, I'd say, 2 to 3 people. And they're using a lot of local purveyors. It's Rowan Sausage up in Denver, correct?
Correct.
So I don't know if you guys have heard of them before.
Wait, hang on. Rome sausage, is that what you just said?
Yes.
All right, well, do you mind if I do this?
Yeah, hold on.
Hang on just a second. Brought to you by Rome Sausage, and Rome Sausage would love to get you some meat to your house. They're doing online delivery, and you can go to romesausage.com. 303-296-7663. Get all of your awesome sausageness. What a great coincidence, but Rome Sausage and Chris Johnson. That's good stuff.
Yeah. It's just lovely when that works out. There's one coming out. Check it out.
Oh, coming out the oven. Oop, the magic. That's all right. Dionne, can you...
What you'll notice about the pizza is it has a little darker hue to it, more akin to like some artisan bread.
Yeah, I would say that it speaks to that a lot to me when we had it last week.
Hey, you guys, it's Jay here. I hate to point this out, Chef, but it takes away a little bit of the fun of throwing it up and down, right? You can't throw it up and down and keep that rectangular shape, right? Did anybody tell the Romans about that? I mean, I'm not saying throwing it up and down makes it a better pizza, but, I mean, you could have some fun that way. That's all I'm saying.
I know, especially with, like, the open display kitchen, you should have had a little extra show for customers, right?
Yeah. Got to bring them in.
Well, listen, man, you adapt a way to throw up a rectangular pizza and keep it rectangular. You're off to the races.
I mean, we can still throw it in there just for fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have.
Post baking?
I said threw it on the
So
ground.
what kind of cheese blend do you have there, Chef?
So this is it's a part skim whole milk. It's equal parts whole milk mozzarella and parts skim. It is just mozzarella though, but we have it diced for deeper coverage. And then we're finishing all of our pizzas with fresh Parmesan, the Parmigiano Reggiano, 24 months.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
Yeah, get down on that, Dionne.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh, God.
Time to eat.
Wow. Let's get mine.
You want to see the...
Let's see.
There you go.
See, I'm down with that right
Are there
there.
is that pickles? What am I looking at?
That's zucchini on there.
Yeah.
So it has the epic sausage, some zucchini, a little bit of Aleppo chili from Savory Spice Shop, some of the 50 part skim whole milk mozzarella, some little bit of Parmesan, and then some roasted garlic oil.
Yeah, this is a really good one. And then we also had their warm caprese salad, which features some 18-year-old aged balsamic, right?
Yeah, from Venice olive oil. So 18-year aged balsamic done correctly through the wine aging method. It goes through barrels. It's delicious. We roast the cherry tomatoes in our oven, get them nice and charred, heat them up just a little bit, toss them with some little baby mozzarella, and then we have some arugula pesto on the side with it. So kind of like when we're taking our rectangular pizza, turning a round pizza into a rectangular pizza, arugula pesto is awesome, but it just it comes across a little differently than the basil pesto. So it sets people up for a different experience, a different perception.
What else are you guys making there?
So making a couple more pies, and then pasta is on the horizon, right? Risotto's coming soon.
Yeah, currently we have lasagna that we're selling. We have the pasta machine in the back. We're going to make all of our pasta here. We're going to have risotto on the menu. We'll do a cacio e pepe. We're going to do some pesto with roasted tomatoes. We're not really doing anything super revolutionary as far as flavor combinations. We're just doing everything well. We're using the good ingredients, and we're making everything taste really good, and our texture is really important to us as well.
As we're getting ready to reopen dining rooms, and obviously takeout and delivery is the name of the game right now. But vendors are like, give us a chance, get us ready. And speaking of Rome Sausage, Chris Johnson just texted me from Rome Sausage, says, we're open, we're stocked, and we're ready for business and ready to support the restaurant folks in any possible way. And that's what happens when you have good relationships. Chef, can you tell us about any other local relationships that you have that are valuable to you?
Yeah, I mentioned Savory Spice Shop, Dick Creek over there. We work with Matt up at Venice Olive Oil. We're using Taproot as one of our other mainline purveyors. They're supplying us Mountain Mama grains out of San Luis, and that's what we're feeding our starter with. Our other major flour that we're bringing in is actual King Arthur. It's not as local, but it's still a B Corp and employee-owned with best practices. What else are we using?
What sounds like
boil coffee we'll have in here. We're gonna have some Lee Spirits gin. We're using potatoes from Colorado. We're using mushrooms from Colorado, from down in the San Luis. When we can, we'll get zucchinis. We're gonna have zucchinis on the menu year round, so we're not gonna get Colorado zucchinis year round. We have that whole snow thing that we like to do. Who else?
Shout out from the stream, Venice Olive Oil Company says, super excited to be involved. Thanks, Chef Will, for the shout out.
They do good work. And yeah, that balsamic from that one caprese was, lick the plate kind of good.
Where is Venice Olive Oil Company located?
Venice Olive Oil?
University Village, right by Trader Joe's.
Right, yeah. It's kind of, I'd say central.
It's right next to the pizza place.
Yeah, it's right next to a pizza place. Yeah, well, we'll leave them out.
I want to make pizza.
But yeah, the pizzas have been awesome. The lasagna was a total hit at the house. We had, the whole family getting down on it. So we enjoyed it very much, and we're excited. And, Will, what do you think about, how is the business model for pizzerias? Like, do you think that lends itself more to the delivery takeout method? Because I would think you guys are, kind of rolling with the punches, essentially.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too much of a red flag to open up a pizzeria with to-go food in the middle of this.
Yeah.
I think after talking to some other local restaurants, especially pizzerias, they're not doing worse than they were before this occurred. They might have actually increased business.
Yeah, I think New York style pizza in town size 420. I think they were saying they were up.
Yeah,
which is kind of unbelievable, but yeah.
So I think we did pick the right restaurant 18 months ago to coincide exactly with this pandemic.
Yeah, well, and the fact that pizza is like my last supper food, so it's my choice. So
I want to build.
We want to look at the space a little bit more, guys.
Yes, I was going to say, Dionne, just get it, girl. You're doing a great job.
All right.
Do the interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, sure. I have helpers here. Oh, he's going to hide. But so I noticed this too. Like, we had this door that used to be the front door of this space. It's from Rainbow Bread. Can you see that?
Uh-huh. That's awesome.
So, yeah, they kind of just started decorating and stuff, but really clean looking atmosphere in here. It looks awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see. She was saying, Sarah, that they have some stuff that was on the walls from the 30s and 40s to even include like Nazi headline newspapers that they're going to be putting a little collage together outside of the bathrooms.
Interesting. So is Sarah around?
Yeah, Sarah's right here. Let's walk back over.
Yeah, I want to ask Sarah about this dining room here. So hey Sarah, as we reopen, I want to take a look at your dining room and see what your plans are going to be. It looks like you got a lot of communal seating, and they're going no on the communal seating. How are you going to space out here?
And these really beautifully handmade community tables we got built are pretty hefty. I think when we are able to open for dine-in, we may have to take one of them out completely because they're not the 6 or 8 feet apart that we need. But we also can just limit the number of stools at each community table. We would probably spread out the tables we have against the bench seating. But really, I think we'll open up the patio long before we open for the dine-in service. We've got a great patio, some picnic tables out front of this building.
Let's see it.
Let's
take a walk.
Let's see the patio. Yeah, you might have to take one of those out of there. Throw a couple tables in. Oh, yeah. You got a great patio. Are you going to try and get some, parking lot provisions? Oh, look at that wide open door, too. That's cool.
Yeah, so this is our big window. We've actually been using that for carry out right now, but eventually this is bar seating for people. But it just, for now, works great as our takeout window. Down at the end, you can see there's rocks and a big tree. That's going to be our kids area that's got to get finished up so kids can jump around and play and while their parents have a glass of wine on the patio. Perfect for the family neighborhood we're in.
We have a test subject down there. I don't know. Someone should come get that kid.
You got to stray. We've got an ongoing poll going on the stream right now, and it's a simple question. Are you going to dine in when restaurants reopen? We've got 83 people have said yes, 41 have said no, and 33 have said depends. So it's kind of split right down the middle, which I think is actually a good sign to see that it's 50-50 really of yes and then, undecided or no. And it's going to be up to the operators of their restaurant to make people feel comfortable to tip that scale to where you're looking at, the customers coming back in the doors. It's just a matter of making them happy. What kind of plans have you got? Are you looking at these reopen guidelines that the state have put out last night?
Sarah? I did look over it last night. One of the things we had developed our own Blue Star Group COVID policy, cleaning practices. So a lot of the stuff they listed, we've kind of already put in place, 30-minute sanitization, masks, which I'm not wearing my mask now. But the thing that we've been talking about at our places is the request about gloves. Mm-hmm. I know I've been into some places where I see somebody with gloves touch their face and then they don't change their gloves. So our current policy has been to just have hand sanitizer and heightened levels of hand washing. But obviously those policies that Governor Polis is putting out requires the glove. So I'm curious to know if that'll end up staying or if there's other restaurants that have questions about the gloves.
Yeah, well, they are calling this a draft, and they're asking for feedback. Is that what one of the feedback points of contention you would have?
Yeah, I just think there's a heightened level of understanding when you're wearing gloves of not touching your face. I think chefs have gotten used to that in the back of house, but front of house is not used to putting their hair back or whatever. And if they've got gloves on, that's actually potentially spreading things on the gloves. So
everything going forward is just going to be optics, how it looks, right? I mean, because if you think about it, I'd rather them not wear gloves and wash their hands constantly.
Yep.
Gloves, the basic design of a glove is to keep things from getting on your hands. Like that's what it was invented for. Gloves, latex, or anything other. It's not invented for not spreading disease. I mean, if it can stick to the glove, then it's pointless.
Well, yeah, and you don't contract the disease through your hands. You contract it through your face. so that's interesting. It's like, okay, that's weird. So as we continue and move forward, say that that you've got the green light and you can go ahead and open up, and we'll just say June 1st, right? Monday, June 1st. Is that something that you're looking to do with your restaurants, or are you going to do the back stance and wait and see type of thing?
We're going to wait and see. I think that we've done some surveys with our team members. Our number one concern is, does our team feel safe to start serving? Because we've had long-standing employees, and we want to keep them happy and healthy and safe. And so we're doing some surveying of our team members to find out what requirements will make them feel safe serving before we open the doors to the public.
Man, how about you? What are you seeing out there, Dionne, as far as your visiting restaurants? Are folks feeling confident to get reopened, or are they waiting and seeing? I know if you talk to Chef Mark Henry, man, that dude's ready. He's ready yesterday.
Yeah, well, he's been ready. He was ready 2 months ago, and Mark's always ready, and that's what I love about Mark. I think that for me, like, I will definitely venture back out. Clearly, I'm here. And I think it is following protocol, washing your hands, wearing a mask when you're in public to protect other people. I think, too, just continuing to social distance when there are patios and breweries that have open space. That will definitely appeal to me more as a consumer. And I think just in general, I can, that's been kind of the lay of the land that I've gotten from most folks that have spoken up about it. So, which I think is smart. And I think we'll slowly, reintegrate and get back to normal, hopefully sooner rather than later, but when the time is right. You know?
Is that customer picking up some pizza right now?
It sure is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Little pizza over there. You guys got to see the front of the building, too. It's cool. They have like a fun little sign in Press We Trust. I love it.
Show us.
So here, let's walk over here, and I'll try not to put my finger on here.
While you're walking over there, Dionne, I know you're busy trying to find the next beat. What are you working on? What are you working on as far as your next story?
Next story, well, I actually just interviewed Sara and Will from Stellina. So I will take those quotes and some of that additional information and put that with this video that we're doing today that I'll reshare on Food Report. Beyond that, we're also, just like I said, sharing recipes, like featuring a lot of local bloggers. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff, too, as far as just local products, whether it's something just you can use in your kitchen or, like Sarah's sausages and Palmer Lake. Just things that people can, access and still support local businesses that are really, really struggling right now. So however we can do that is awesome. And one thing that I'm working on as well is just giving all the updates for the farmers markets all across Colorado, because farmers markets are like a huge part of my life. I look forward to them every year. So knowing that some of them are going to be pushed back, I think is valid information that I can't be the only one that wants to know, right? We all want to go get our fresh veggies and stuff. So
those are all good. How about food trucks?
The food trucks are still doing great, operating. I know down here, like Slowdowns, which is Texas Creole, they're still hitting up their usual spots. And so we're kind of just sharing that information as I see it too. Like, they're putting their stuff on Facebook and social media, and I'll snap it up and I'll put it on our story. And just trying to just keep everyone in the loop is where I feel like my job lies.
Yeah, you're doing a great job too. Show us what you're looking at there.
Yeah, so, well, here's the sign I was talking about. I just think it's super cute. So could hang that in my house.
That is super cute.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
This place, look at it. It's got such appeal. I think they've done such a great job with the building, and it's really like right in kind of downtown of Colorado Springs. It's in a neighborhood, North End area, so people are really like just walking by and curious and wanting to get in on some of this killer pizza. So it's been packed, and last week they were sold out first couple days, and we finally got our order in, thank goodness. But yeah, you can kind of see, there's a lot of like houses right in this area. So, it's a good spot, local spot. UPS dude, what's up, man? So yeah. So
Oh, Dionne. We miss you. We miss you, girl.
I love it when we have people on the show that have a personality, to as she's
talking about getting down on pizza.
UPS dude, what's up, man? I love it.
What's up, man? Hey, thanks for catching up with us. Anytime you have something that you think is that we would love to hear, don't hesitate. Contact us. We love having you on the show. As she froze up. Mm-hmm. That's fitting.
No.
Oh, there
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
All right, and then and I have my little RMFR 2.0.
You've got the helper. Dionne, love catching up with you. Thank you. Would you say farewell to Sara for us?
Yes, absolutely. I think she might have run back inside. Do you guys want me to walk back in once more?
No sweat. You can just say bye for us, and we'll catch up soon.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you. There she is.
We'll leave you with this.
Yes.
There you go.
Dionne Roberts, Rocky Mountain
All
Food
right,
Report. Check her out online, Instagram, Facebook, and her website as well. What's your website?
www.rockymountainfoodreport.com. And I will reshare our video from today. So if anyone missed it or just wants to circle back on some of those details or the UPS man wave, then we'll repost that by Friday at the latest before we go camping this weekend.
Camping? Okay. You're looking pretty put together today. Is that how you camp?
No. I will look. I'll just keep it real basic.
Keep it basic. All right.
This is for you and Jay.
Bye, Dionne.
See you later.
See you soon. Okay, we're going to do that. But before that, words from the Spice Guy right now on the stream.
Hey there, barbecue all-star. This is your year, so what if you weren't drafted? The only draft you need to be worried about is actually spelled D-R-A-U-G-H-T, and it's adult for the word beer. It's barbecue season, baby. Now get out there and grill your ass off.
The Spice Guy. He's ready. He's ready to go. Get ready. Get your vendors. Talk to your vendors, that's for sure. Here's one for you. Brews Beer. They're supporting local businesses, and we want you to support them too. Brews Beers is navigating through this challenging time, and this is brought to you by COVID-19. Please help as Denver businesses recover with the rest of the community by buying a $50 gift card from Brews. Here's what happens. You know you're going to go drink at Brews, and you know you want their delicious beer. If you get a $50 gift card, you're going to get a store a gift card, and you can redeem it later in person. As a bonus, they will send you a $10 Amazon gift card. So stack them up. Start buying the beer. Get it as gifts as friends. That is a great purchase, buy, and a gimme. $10 gift card coming back at you. Brewsbeers.com, B-R-U-Z, beers.com. Okay, here we go. Gaby's with us. We continue on. It's 3:17 in the Mile High City, and I was going to put a new poll up there about food trucks. Have you eaten at a food truck lately? I worry about food trucks right now, and so many of my favorites here, and I don't know whether they're struggling or not, but I sure haven't seen much of them around. And Gaby Reyes joins us from Feed Me Events. Gaby, first of all, welcome to the Modern Eater Show. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys? Thank you for having me.
Doing good, doing good. Tell us about Feed Me Events.
So Feed Me Events started a couple years ago. It's really based around my food allergies is how things got started and how I really became more of a foodie in that way. And so I have that background, and then taking in my professional background, I was on marketing teams and doing product launches and whatnot in events, and slowly moved over into the festival scene here in Denver, helping out with different lineups around town with food talent mainly. And so from that, I started Feed Me Events, and right now we're trying to work on the lot.
Wow. How are food trucks doing right now, Gaby? Do you know?
Yeah, so I've gotten a mix. Some are doing well. They found a way to stay afloat and open. Some are things like breweries. Others are just doing delivery or pickup as well from their commissaries. And then some are just completely shut down. So it's across the board really how they've been able to survive right now.
Just heartbreaking. And as we're concentrating, there's so much pull and legislation and lobbying for restaurants and bars that it almost seems to me like food trucks get a little missed out on talking and what's in their best interest. Are you seeing that right now too, Gaby?
Absolutely. And I think that food trucks also mainly operate with events. And as we know, events right now are not really happening. I have a vendor who is typically at state fairs, and they emailed me saying, we need to pivot. We need to find a way to stay open. But with fairs not being an option, they're trying to now operate more as a food truck and in those operations.
Okay, there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Here it is, a Westward piece. I'm reading it right now.
I haven't even read it myself.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, here it is. 3 pages, man, 3 pages. And
That's
I like
great.
just seeing and the title of the article is The Lot Food Truck Court opens up Thursday in Westminster. Yay! What does this all mean, and how can we participate? And just give us the lowdown.
Sure. So from trying to pivot my own company, as well as these close relationships that I have with food trucks, because that's typically who I'm booking for these lineups that I'm doing, I was just like, I have to do something. You know, I felt a responsibility to help them and think of a way to do that. So
organize it a little bit, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So what I came up with, I had a concept prior to COVID of how I could just have a food truck sort of event. And then in modifying that, it came to be the lot. So with that, I was like, okay, how many food trucks can I get in a single space where people can come and still enjoy the cuisine, and it also helps keep the food trucks open. So there's been a lot of modification from my original plan, because we'd have to just, be willing to fluctuate with regulations and what even the food trucks are comfortable with right now. So from that, we came with the lot, and it is in Westminster. It's going to be at their city center, which is a shopping center off. It's between 92nd and 94th and Sheridan. And the shopping center has Barnes & Noble as one of their main tenants, Golf Galaxy. So just to give you guys some landmarks there.
Is that off the light rail? Do you know?
I don't recall seeing a light rail there. So
okay. Just trying to get a gauge of my mind. But it's in Westminster, and we'll be able to find it here. It's called The Lot. And is it a wide open space? Is it basically what it is, like a parking lot?
So it's part of their lot of the shopping center.
Okay.
So I leased a section of the parking lot where we'll be able to have trucks. Our goal is to expand to the full what I was permitted for, which is 4 trucks. Right now, these first 2 weeks, we're going to do 2 trucks just to ramp up interest, make sure these trucks are making, what they need to stay open and make it worth their time. And then we'll hopefully expand to 4 by the end.
So far, have you eaten at a food truck lately? The poll is 2 say yes and 6 say no. Man,
well, we got to change that.
We do, and we're going to change that. So starting tomorrow, right? And this is kind of like, get your dinner. You've got this set up perfectly for success. And if you love your favorite food truck, how do you pick who's going to be there, how many food trucks, and then tell us the dining hours, and just give us the details if you would.
Sure. So I picked dinner time, which for right now, because we are limited to 2 hours just due to permitting. I should say lack of permitting because of COVID. We're going to be open from 5 to 7, and then hopefully we can expand those hours once we get permission. But 5 to 7, Westminster City Center, we're going to have trucks, like I said, there. And then also it's all mobile orders, so that we're trying to keep in compliance as much as possible with the distancing. So you would place your mobile order, and then we have the parking lot for you to sit in. And while you're sitting and waiting on your order, we also have a local artist who is going to be doing a mural. So you can kind of enjoy watching and supporting local artists at the same time as supporting your food trucks.
That's so cool. Now, remember, in order for this to work, guys, in order for Gaby and the food trucks to be successful at this, you got to go. You got to go and support. Because, listen, food trucks, that's been the conundrum for them all the time. Is like, where can I get a pop-in brewery? Or where can I find this place to park that I can set to make it worth our time and our money and our efforts? So if you're organizing these food trucks together and there's just a small crowd, that's not going to work, and this isn't going to make it viable. So please, share this, talk about it far and wide, support this as much as you possibly can so Gaby can get some traction, get the trucks in there and make it viable, and get the best food in there as possible. That's how it's going to work, right, Gaby?
Yes, please. And if you have a favorite food truck, message them and say, we want to see you here. I do have, I was able to partner with Truckster, which has been great. They've been such a great help. We are using some of their ordering platforms so that people can place orders. And then they did a mass email out to all of their food trucks that have a working relationship with them. So that really created a good buzz. And I'm really excited for the June and August lineups because the interest from that is just amazing. So we got good things coming so long as people come out and support.
You hope to see it grow, right? Obviously,
yes.
And you want this to be sustainable and long lasting.
Mm-hmm.
So your preference would be maybe if it's very successful to add a lunch, maybe, or where do you go from there, Gaby?
So either adding a lunch or maybe even adding a second location. What I did also was want to kind of go out to the suburbs and hit those markets as well that kind of carry more chain restaurants. So bringing that different cuisine. I can't
cuisine,
say it.
I know. Cuisine. What is
I'm
it?
like, quick.
That's right.
Cuisines out over to the suburbs. So either expanding or by hours or to a second location.
I really like the mural thing. Did they probably turn you down for music or entertainment? Is that
Yeah.
They did.
So I'm allowed to have, they actually called it a boombox, which I thought was very funny.
They did
I'm
call it
have a boombox.
Well, you see who you're dealing with then at that point in time, if they call it a boombox. What about some other creative things? Can you, while people are waiting in their car, can you watch a movie out there on a big screen, or what can you do?
So I'm thinking that also would kind of be limited because of the sound. But I went all sorts of crazy with ideas too. I was like, I need jugglers and fire breathers and, hula hoop girls. And of course I was just like, okay, we're getting a little too crazy now. So
yeah.
go ahead.
Here's the good. So have you eaten at a food truck later? Yes or no? 3 say yes, 12 say no. I'll bet you those 12 people, they're ready to get back out there and eat a food truck. So
exactly.
Come on, and the 3 that have, we want you too.
Yeah.
So continue, we're going to beat the drum for you because we really want this to work out for you. What else can we leave people with? Give us a tease for tomorrow, what tomorrow's going to look like.
So tomorrow we're going to have Barbed Wire Reef as well as Wiley Concessions. And Barbed Wire Reef, if you're not familiar with them, they have locations on 38th as well as the Edgewater Public Market. And then Wiley is actually the one vendor I was talking about that typically is at fairs. So they're going to have funnel cakes and fried Oreos and all different kinds of fun stuff. So really bringing you a variety. And if you guys can come support my business, support your local food trucks, support your local artists, we'd really appreciate it. Like I said, Westminster City Center. We're going to be right across from Golf Galaxy's temporary location.
Westminster City Center. Tomorrow I will give a big shout out as well. It's what time? 5 to 7 p.m.?
It's going to be 5 to 7, yes.
So 5 to 7 p.m. There is an ordering system, and you go there and you park. The food truck gets it ready for it, and then zoom, you're on your way. So if you're getting off work, perfect timing, 5 to 7. Just stop there on your way home. Listen, your honey's going to love you because you brought some delicious food home. And if anybody can make a parking lot cool, it's Gaby.
Yes, I will make it so cool for you guys. And for those ordering links, I will have them up on my website, and that's feedmeevents.com. And then you can either click from there, or the full URL is /the-lot.
Hey, Gaby, your website is right below your face. I like asking people to point. Yes, I don't know why I like that so much, but I do. There you go. Perfect.
Yes,
and it
click
works.
Here.
So those of you who voted you haven't been to a food truck lately, 14 of you, we want all 14 of you to go up there, and the 3 that said no, 15 have said no. Darn it. Okay, get up there.
Let's change it.
Let's change that. Support this operation right here. I like it. It's like task force for food trucks, and that's what Gaby's doing. Gaby Reyes, thanks for joining us on the stream today.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you there.
Yes, you will. Yes. Okay, tomorrow. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to go up there and support you. We'll see you tomorrow, Gaby. Bye-bye. That's a cool one, and it's in the Westminster City Center in the parking lot there. Tomorrow, it's the debut from 5 to 7 p.m. Support your food trucks. Seriously, it's such a hard business to be in. I know this guy. 1 second, though. Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions, a family man owned and operated. 20 years he's been putting in specialty tap installations. I actually think that our next guest, Rich O'Brien, is going to give him a call because everybody needs to if you're pouring beer. If you're pouring inefficient beer, what are you doing, Jay?
Hey, Rich O'Brien, you're pouring your money down the drain.
Don't pour your money down the drain, boys. That's a no-no. Get a hold of Jeff Rourke. He's going to clean out your tap lines for you as you're getting ready to reopen your restaurants. You got to get that icky beer that's been laying stagnant in your tap lines out of there. Jeff Rourke can do it. He can give you a clean up, and he can get that beer ready to flow. That's right. You got a nitro line, a water line, a coffee line, a beer line, a wine line. He can also adjust your glycol system and make sure it's perfectly fresh and cold. A-Plus Beverage Solutions, 720-272-3809. One more time. 720-272-3809. It's Jeff Rourke and A-Plus Beverage Solutions. Welcome to the stream, Rich O'Brien. How are you?
I'm good, Greg. How are you?
Oh, good to see you. You are in the palatial Elevation Foodservice Reps kitchen.
Yeah, I am here. I'm wrapping the day up, and appreciate you guys having me on. I actually have Shelby LeBlue here as well with me, one of my chefs / salesmen.
If that is your real name, Shelby LeBlue.
That's my real name. He's from Canada, Greg.
All right, we'll keep him.
Take off.
Take off, eh?
Hey,
no, actually, so Shelby just was here, and I said, hey, hang out a little bit. I'm going to be talking to these guys, and in case I drop the iPad and the Zoom, maybe you could help me out a little bit because I know how Jay's ADD can be when the picture's not right. So,
man, we love looking around your facility, and you've got so many cool toys to play with. If you're in the business, this is the place to go. First of all, introduce you to Justin Brunson. I don't even know how you guys hadn't known each other in the past because it seems like you know everybody in the business. But Justin, I knew you two would be great friends. And then George Eater from Pizza Republica. And I'm glad I reminded myself of that. Have you heard of Panino Republica, Jay? Rich? No, you haven't.
No.
Because it's a new pop-up inside of Pizza Republica. It's called Panino Republica, and he's doing authentic Italian paninos, and you can order them up at Pizza Republica, and that's the tech center location. George Eater, he's a great guy, and he even makes more delicious food. So cool kind of just connecting dots and meeting people and seeing what's happening.
It's great. You really have introduced me to several people. I'd run into Justin before, but hadn't really developed a relationship. And, referrals are really important, because a lot of times that people will say, hey, this person's a good guy. It usually works out. And, I always appreciate that with you guys. And, I think one of the things that, today with Colorado opening up and some of the rules with the restaurants, it's interesting because manufacturers of product don't really have a whole lot of time to develop new products for what we're dealing with. So they're taking a lot of old products, kind of repurposing them for all intents and purposes. And Cambro's, we always talk about Cambro a lot because, they are just such an innovative brand. And they're starting to try to take some of the things that they have in their bag of tricks to accommodate what we're going to have coming up. With the restaurants opening and the use of the sidewalks and the parking lots, things like that. And the thing that
I love this because, first of all, the guys out there, operators, managers, owners, think about this. You don't want to give yourself a ding to when you reopen and you're out in a parking lot somewhere or on a sidewalk and the food's a little wonky. Listen up to what Rich O'Brien's about to talk about because I think this will be really beneficial to everybody who hears it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think food quality, getting that good quality food from the kitchen out to the parking lot or to the sidewalks or to the street is going to be really paramount. And there's so many things that go through our brains as professionals as what might work best. I don't want to have the ego that's big enough to where I know the answers of what operators know. So I can throw some solutions out there. What I really am hoping and, hoping that the platform can help us out here is I really would like to get some feedback from the people like George and Justin and all the restaurateurs. And, your previous guest was talking about a lot of the national accounts and the chain accounts. They're always forefront. And there's some of the groups that aren't really suffering. You look at people like Wingstop and Taco Bell, Chipotle, they're all doing real well. It's the folks that we want to help out here locally, the single restaurant owner, or like George has two, that we want to make sure that their product is a good quality product and it gets out there in a safe manner. And I got a couple of things here that I'll just kind of throw out. Shelby's going to help me out with this a little bit too. But Greg, what I'd really like to do is if we could get people in the community, in the Colorado Chefs Association, Pearson has really put the APB out to all those guys as well. I really would love to get feedback from operators on what their concerns are. Is it food safety? How do I make sure that I get this to the customer safely? The last thing we want to do in the middle of a pandemic is to have an outbreak of E. coli or food poisoning or something because somebody didn't hold the product properly. So we've got a myriad of solutions